A strike on the Ahly Baptist Hospital in Gaza left an estimated 500 Palestinians dead. Hamas blames Israel, which we understand has been bombarding Gaza since the attack, but Israel has further denied any involvement. A blockade is currently in place with the humanitarian aid stuck at the border until some sort of ceasefire can be guaranteed. Humanitarian aid organization Doctors Without Borders has donated essential medicines and medical equipment in the main hospitals in Gaza to assist. We understand more than 300 of their staff are currently in Gaza, and some of whom have lost homes as well as family members. But joining me now for more on this is Camren McAvarey from Doctors Without Borders South Africa. And Camren, thank you so much for your time. A very good evening to you. I mean, I suppose you're in a better position to tell us the current state of what's happening out in Gaza, also pertaining to the hospital, how many lives have been lost, and what's the severity of the situation on the ground.
Hi, thanks for having me. I think the situation is horrific. There's nothing short of that. The lack of safety for healthcare personnel, the lack of safety in healthcare facilities, the lack of ability for essential healthcare goods and services to be able to be delivered inside of Gaza. All of these are creating a really catastrophic humanitarian situation.
I mean, we understand that this is a hospital that was already under pressure, Camren, already, under pressure with hundreds of people seeking medical attention. And we are actually reporting about 500 that's been killed. But what information do you have about those that have been killed, injured due to this airstrike?
This is not the only airstrike that has happened on our healthcare facility since the start of the offensive. Actually, since last week, Thursday, Israeli authorities have requested all healthcare facilities in the north of Gaza to evacuate south. So one of the MSF-supported facilities, the Al-Awda facility, was only given 2 hours to evacuate before it was hit by an airstrike. An ambulance was hit right in front of another MSF-supported facility, the Nasser Hospital, as well as the Indonesian hospital that also faced airstrikes. So what we basically are seeing on the ground is that these healthcare facilities, these healthcare spaces and healthcare workers are not protected or safe spaces. And in these types of situations, that is what is called for and what is required under international humanitarian law. Yeah. Hundreds of thousands of people are at risk. Hundreds of thousands of people are facing lack of essential water, having no access to electricity, cut off from communications. All of this is just exacerbating an already dire humanitarian situation.
Yeah, you're further emphasizing on your point as Doctors Without Borders that no patient should lose their life on a hospital bed. No medical practitioner or doctor should lose their lives while trying to also assist. No one should lose their lives, period. Camren, I'm sure you would agree. But I mean, why do you, or rather, let me phrase the question this way. What should be done to emphasize the point around hospitals being safety nets, for both patients and medical doctors, but also for essential medical supplies to be disseminated there?
I think it is important that everybody understands in watching this story unfold and watching this conflict unfold that these spaces need to be protected. It's unquestionable. This is what is happening is just not how we protect human lives. And the call should be on everybody to emphasize that spaces like this, humanitarian aid workers and healthcare workers need to be protected, and that we won't stand for this kind of conduct from any authority. Yeah. I think that is one of the important things that we want to emphasize. But the second thing is that we need to have access both for healthcare workers to enter Gaza to assist an already exhausting cohort of individuals who are struggling to help the patients on the ground, but then also to allow more goods and services to enter the country, for water to be reestablished, reconnected, electricity. We have people in the hospitals who are dependent on electricity and water to be able to survive.
Camren, can you share with us where exactly you're finding difficulty in terms of access for medical doctors, for medical supplies to make their way in terms of assisting people? I mean, how difficult can you describe the conditions with which doctors have to work under or find themselves in?
they are running out of medical supplies, and unless the Rafah border is opened, unless there is an ability for more supplies to enter the country, we are going to see massive losses in lives, and that's just not appropriate. That is just not acceptable. So we need for the border to open. We also need people to be able to enter it, healthcare workers to be able to enter Gaza, international humanitarian aid workers to assist in the crisis, and for people who have been working non-stop there to be able to have a version of rest and recovery. I think so many doctors have been, so many healthcare workers in the north have been asked to move south and have remained behind because they couldn't ethically leave their patients, and we need to find a way to assist in this situation.
Well, thank you so much, Camren, for speaking to us about this this evening. Camren McAvarey, country support for Doctors Without Borders. We understand those are the conditions, as Camren has just explained, quite severe, unacceptable, they call it. Hospitals need to be a safe space, safe haven for patients and healthcare workers to conduct their work, but also understanding that medical supplies at this point are needed. So that call once again for humanitarian organizations, international communities to come and make this call to continue making hospitals there a safe and haven, rather, for patients as well as medical healthcare workers.